Would I go to Jamaica? I would be stupid to go to Jamaica. I would not go to Jamaica. So my question is, what's the ulterior motive to Andrew Holness's statement? Hello people, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time on the channel, a special welcome to you. I ask that you check out the rest of my videos. If you like what you see, give them a thumbs up, leave a comment. But more than anything, I'm asking that you subscribe to the channel. Today's video is the question on the thumbnail. Why did Andrew Holness say this about Jamaica? I'm going to get right into it. On Sunday just past, Andrew Holness at a press conference at Jamaica House gave what was said is substantial reason for the continuation of state of emergencies across the island of Jamaica. After reading the article, I was surprised on what he used to substantiate his reason. Andrew Holness actually used a ratio, kind of a scale, and disclosed that out of per 100,000 people in Jamaica, 46.2 people has died by murder. Comparing to the world of 7 billion, a global scale. Well, the article didn't say the world, but it says comparing to the global scale. And when I hear the word global, I consider the rest of the world. And the last time I checked, the rest of the world was 7 billion people. And what Andrew Holness is pretty much saying is 6 people per 100,000 has been murdered globally in comparison to 46.2 people per 100,000 in Jamaica. He further says 16 people per 100,000 were murdered in the Caribbean region. If this is a fact, one thing I would agree with Andrew Holness is that this is an epidemic, and Jamaica would have just shot itself to #1 place of being the world's murder capital. However, I don't really believe the statistic. The thing about statistics and politics, they go hand in hand. Statistics are numbers that politicians tend to just throw around, and people just absorb them like water against sponge, or sponge against water. But let's run with the fact that per 100,000 people in Jamaica, 46.2 of them has died by murder. I'm not sure if that was annually, daily, monthly, but I was just calculating to myself when I was saying the last time I actually checked, Jamaica's population is about 3 million people. And if 100,000 into 3 million goes 30 times. So just off the top of my head, if Jamaicans don't start reproducing at an extreme rapid pace, I would say in the next 10 years or so, Jamaica's population will be depleted, if that is a fact. I put a little giggle in there just now, just for the simple fact that I do not believe such statistics. And my question is, why would the Prime Minister of Jamaica publish such a statistics? Why would anybody, any president or prime minister or any citizen, why would anyone want to aim that negativity out to the rest of the world? I mean, usually politicians are known to cover up things and to make ugly look good. So I'm saying, is Andrew Holness finally just wants to be one of those politicians that are honest and just says, you know what, we have to tell the truth. We have to let the world know that 46.2 people per 100,000 has been dying in Jamaica. Not for a second that I believe that Andrew Holness overnight has become such a noble and morally inclined human being. Andrew Holness is a politician, and as long as he's a politician, he's going to do what a politician is supposed to do. When politicians have press conferences, anything positive they say has an ulterior motive. Anything negative they say also has an ulterior motive. So my first question is to the Jamaicans that are living in Jamaica, because I don't know the ins and outs of the state of emergency and the SOZO, but I do know that it involves money from somewhere, whether it's money from the Jamaican people, whether it's foreign aid, whether it's money from the World Bank. I know that the resources of extra police hours and extra armed forces on the road means we need extra money. But I'm not going to speculate. I need people that's living in Jamaica that's more abreast with the Jamaican politics that's going on in Jamaica, because you have to understand, I got it secondhand, but I need people that's on the ground to comment on this video and let me know what is the benefit to the Jamaican Labour Party if SOZO continue, if state of emergencies continue across the island, because I am sure there's a benefit there. Recently, I read in the British Travel Advisory, and there was a warning for British travelers to Jamaica to avoid certain zones and to expect uproars at any time. I mean, as a Jamaican, as I read the warning advisory, it did make me very proud to know that they were talking about my country, the land of my birth. But at the same time, I respect the British government to put that warning out there, because if that's the information that they're getting from the island of Jamaica, that's the information they have to put there. They have to take care of their citizens. British government obviously care about the welfare of their citizens at home and the ones that are traveling to Jamaica, and I respect that. But my question goes, who cares about Jamaicans? Does the Jamaican government care about us? Why did Andrew Holness put such a statistic in public? Why would you publish such information, whether or not it is true? And a part of me just want to scream out and say, Andrew, that's a lie. You know, 46.2 people are not dying out of 100,000 Jamaica on a daily basis or on an annual basis. I hear about the upsurge of murders in places like Clarendon. I hear about all the abundance of guns that are now legally owned in Jamaica. I do know that people die, and I do know that more than 40 people gets killed in Jamaica by murder last year. I am quite aware of that. But it doesn't matter to me if you're doing it on an annual scale or a biannual scale. To say that Jamaica has more murders in comparison to the global average, that is a dark and sickening overcoat to put on our country. The United States of America, which is one of the closest countries to Jamaica with a major population, the United States of America has about 350 million people. I know that some states in America has more murders than Jamaica on an annual basis. I know that. I don't even have to research that fact. I know that. I'm not talking about the entire United States of America. I'm talking about states. There's some states in America that put the murder numbers that Jamaica possess to shame annually and continues to do so. So it is alarming to me that the Prime Minister, the top man of the country, went out at a press conference to say that Jamaica is the murder capital of the world. I don't buy it. I need people to challenge my stand in this, because yes, I'm in foreign and I'm looking at Jamaica from the outside, and maybe you're in Jamaica and you know way more than I do. You know, this is nothing against Andrew Holness himself. Many times on my channel I've said so much thing positive about Andrew Holness, and a lot of people has branded me as Labourite. I'm not Labourite nor PNP. I'm a Jamaican, and I just call it where I see it. In the areas that Andrew Holness has done good for Jamaica, in my view, I give him his credit. And in the areas where I think he's faltering or he's betraying the country, I also will say, you know, my pen has no friend and my mouth doesn't have no friend. What I mean by that statement is simple. I'm just going to call the truth. And you just have to respect my truth. It shouldn't affect the way our friendship is. It shouldn't affect our relationship. That's just my point of view. When it comes to the word average, And when it comes to the word percentage, they're just two tricky words. Anybody that had went to school up to, say, grade 6 and had paid attention in class know that the word average usually apply to roundabout, just average that off, and know that percentage is a very tricky word. When it comes to percentage, you have to understand, Jamaica has approximately 3 million people living on the island, and the United States of America has 350 million people. This is just for an example. If we said 10% of Jamaica's population had died by murder versus 5% of the United States population had died by murder, you have to understand that even though Jamaica numbers seem bigger, in the United States of America, more people had died. That's our percentage work. I'm just throwing that out there just in case Andrew Holness had just decided, let me go out and just throw out some numbers and some statistics and some averages and some percentages just to justify continuing the Sosa without any naive listeners or readers actually questioning. Like I said in my recent vlog, anything that's written, it's believable because it's written. And sometimes you admire and you look up to adults or people of power so much that everything that they say, you actually absorb it with belief. But I have to contest this statistic. There's 46.2 applies to Jamaica, 16 applies to the Caribbean community, and only 6 apply to the global scale. I mean, I need someone to comment and let me know if there was something that I misunderstood about the Prime Minister's press conference and his reason to impose state of emergency. Once again, I'm going to repeat what I understood from what I read. Andrew Holness published and declared that 46.2 Jamaicans died by murder out of every 100,000 Jamaicans. So if you should divide the population of Jamaica, which is approximately 3 million, you will get 30. So 100,000 goes into 3 million 30 times. And of each of those groups, 46.2 people die by murder. In comparison to the world, which is 7 billion people, Andrew Holness is saying only 6 died by murder. And when it comes to the Caribbean community in a whole, 16 people die by murder out of 100,000. Every 100,000. I don't know if it's annually, I don't know if it's daily. My curiosity is Andrew Holness trying to help Jamaica, or is Andrew Holness trying to destroy the reputation of Jamaica? Especially when it comes to tourism. I've even read on the same British travel advisory that although Jamaica is not a country that has terroristic history, it is not ruled out that it could occur at any given moment. That broke my heart. That sunk me to know that that's what they're saying about my country. However, staying on the same page, if I'm a tourist, especially a British tourist who wants to travel to Jamaica, and under travel advisory issued by my country, I read that. Followed by the very next day, I read a newspaper article that's printed by a Jamaican newspaper where the head of the country, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, is saying Jamaica is the murder capital of the world. Would I go to Jamaica? I would be stupid to go to Jamaica. I would not go to Jamaica. So my question is, what's the ulterior motive to Andrew Holness's statement? Why would you say something like that, whether or not it's true? So in this case, I'm saying, if it is true, Andrew Holness should have done what politicians always do if they are in favor of their country. Lie, say it's not so. So when Andrew Holness comes out and say 46.2 people die by murder per 100,000, I have to ask, what is his benefit? That's pretty much my question for the day, people. I look forward to your answers because I am curious. I really want to know, what do you guys think is Andrew Holness' ulterior motive? Because I know there's an ulterior motive. No Jamaican, no American, no Canadian, no African, no national of any country would want to paint their country that bad unless they're trying to seek refuge in another country. That's my conclusion, people. Anyway, I look forward to your comments because, like I say, I share my knowledge and I look forward to absorbing your knowledge because on this channel, each one teach one. Until next time, people. Peace.